Welcome, everybody, to the Soul of Synth-Pop Spotlight Series. So, of course, I have to say a big hey, how's everybody doing out there? And today we're kicking off episode number 308, the eighth episode of the third season of this Soul of Synth-Pop Spotlight Series. And with me, as always, is my awesome co-host and just one of the greatest ambassadors for indie music, be it indie synth pop, indie polka, right? Whatever the case may be. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only Mae de Agua. Mae, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Jim. Gosh, I feel like it's been forever since we chatted. And,
Yeah. Yeah,
usually
it's
I
a
lead in with, the weather, and the weather has actually changed. It was gray yesterday, and I was starting to get upset about it. And now the sun's back out. So things are well in my world again.
There you go. If you don't like the weather, wait around 5 minutes, right?
Pretty much.
Well, I never mentioned last night, of course, Mae, you and I were having a great conversation with Mark from Cosmicity, and we briefly talked about the weather. And yesterday was the coldest day in the state of Utah since the springtime. So yesterday it got up to like 50, and when we were doing the podcast, it was down to like 46 degrees, and we
Ooh.
had like snow up on some of the higher elevation mountains. So the first snowfall for some of the higher mountains that we have here. So winter is definitely on its way. But today it's nice and sunny, so gonna be a good day, and it's always gonna be a good day when we have these fine gentlemen who will be joining us today to talk about their brand new album, which is called Moments, and needs no introduction. But folks, this is my absolute favorite Swedish synth pop quartet. Quartet. You guys didn't know there was four of you, did you? My favorite Swedish synth pop trio. Yeah, Jim, Raiders fan, not very good with math, but there you go. So of course, Mae, we are welcoming Magnus Dahlberg and Lino of the group More, right? So Magnus, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jim. It's always nice to see you, both of you. It feels like I'm visiting you from my living room so many times the past year, and it's great.
Yeah,
I'm doing awesome.
you're like family to Mae and I now.
Likewise, likewise.
And Lino, so good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Today I chopped down a tree and put my boat in, I don't know what it's called, thick plastic thing for the
Getting
winter.
for the winter, yeah, that's probably a good idea because I'd imagine you guys get plenty of snow and ice up there in Sweden, right? Yeah,
We do.
right on. Well, Mae, you wanted to kick things off asking Magnus about an addition to the extended family, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last time we chatted, so much has happened. And then soon after, I saw a baby picture and the newest member of the family. And I thought, wait a minute, I don't recall like seeing pictures because Magnus and his beautiful wife have been doing a duo together. And the name is going to slip my mind because it has to do with Mountain Valley. It's really great. But I thought, I don't remember seeing her that pregnant, but and everyone is congratulating Magnus. And so I apparently there is actually a clarification on this new gorgeous little addition to the family.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the fourth member then and more if you're gonna be a quartet, I would say. But
There
yeah,
we go,
I
my quartet.
mean,
I'm
you,
seeing the future. I'm just seeing the future.
yeah, you were right on the money, Jim, as always. No, but it's not my child. I'm actually a grand uncle, so it's my niece's daughter. And it's funny that you bring it up, May, because people have been congratulating me, and I was like, okay, well, what? I'm a proud grand uncle, of course, but it's not mine. Selma is 100% my niece's.
And those
So
are the best kind, nieces and nephews, because like we said, you can play with them, you can sugar them up,
mhm.
and they poop in a diaper and you can hand them right back and send them home all just, yeah, that I have my sister alone has given me 7 nieces and nephews, and I love hanging out with them and then kicking them back home. So,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I already promoted my Christmas meatballs to her when she was like 1 week old, so she's in for a treat, I would say.
That's awesome. Gosh, May, seven nieces. Wow, that's a busy woman.
yeah, she is. She absolutely is. And they're great kids. They're all so individual and they're nuts and I love them. So, you know,
Right
favorite
on.
aunt status is a great thing.
Yeah, I can see you definitely having favorite aunt status for sure, for sure. Well, awesome guys. Let's just kind of dive right in. You guys, back in August, you released what I believe is what your third album,
Yeah.
and just an extraordinary collection of songs that you have called Moments. And of course, I've been a fan of More ever since I first heard Sentimental Sounds way back in, what was it, 2019, 2020
But yeah.
timeframe. And just the thing that I keep talking to people about whenever the conversation of More comes up is I personally feel that you guys do that Depeche Mode sound right now better than Depeche Mode are doing the Depeche Mode sound. And nowhere has that become more obvious and evident to me than on the tracks on this new album of yours called Moments. So let's real quickly just kind of talk about, if you would, Magnus and Lino, just a little bit about how the idea for the album came together, and was there like a particular theme of any kind that you guys were trying to follow? How did the early sessions of discussing the formation of this album come about?
Well, I mean, when we released Appraisal, it was a tough process, both personally, but also for us. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Lino. But we took almost a year where we didn't speak, we didn't text in our little group chat, we didn't take in the band meetings, nothing, because we put our souls into the last album, and to pick up the pieces, how can we create something new from that? We needed a break from each other. Not that we were in an argue or anything, of course not, but we were, sending tracks back and forth, and agreeing on finalized versions. And as a musician yourself, Jim, there's the final version 1, 2, 3, and 45. So it's
Right. Yeah.
but then we regrouped after New Year's. Was it 2023, Lino, or was it 2022?
Must have been 23, Rob.
Yeah, 23. We met for the first time in my house, which was very lucky some session, because it was a bit, at least for me, it was like, can we create something that sounds new and not fall into the old pattern of the previous album, and most of all, is it joyful? And we wrote Fall Behind and Shotgun to the Head during that weekend. So it was a fruitful weekend, which was like I don't know, a celebration of life, of creativity, and us as a band, I would say. What do you think, Lino?
At that time, we didn't have any like thoughts of how the new album would be, or if we could make songs, so many songs for a new album. But the Appraisal had been so dark, and it was, for me, it was kind of releasing that these new songs had a new direction. They were not that dark.
Mhm. Yeah, that's one thing that actually did stand out. You've got two tracks I can think of right off the bat would be Righteous Foolishness and, is it One Thing? But there's two tracks that kind of seem to have a little more of an upbeat tempo to them on the album. And that something that stood out to me right away. But again, one of the things that really stands out to me about this particular album is, once again, your that deep, rich, resonating, booming voice of yours, Magnus, is just front and center, and just it's like this deliciously dark blanket that wraps around you that you just love to find yourself encompassed in when you sing these songs. And May, I don't know what it's like for you, but what are your thoughts what are some of your first impressions upon listening to some of the first tracks that you heard off this album? May, are you there?
You're muted, May.
Sorry, I I muted earlier because there was somebody still lingering in the kitchen, and but yeah, it's a lot of times there's these layers, these really lush layers that I hear in the synths, and then Magnus's velvet voice is just, it is like you said, a blanket. It's like this velvet. Well, we already called Mel Torme the Velvet Fog, but it's just very lush and very soothing. Um, yeah, we know I like to tease Magnus about the Mountain Valley elves that he pours out the beer for in exchange, and his Crossroads deal with the elves for that voice. So, whatever you're doing, keep giving them beer.
Yeah, I mean, they were awfully kind to us this time around, I would say. I mean, we were sitting in a bunch of interviews with their last album, like, okay, you're gonna make the impossible third album, and if someone says that it's impossible, then I'm gonna prove them wrong, basically. But with, like Lino said, we didn't have a direction with this album, but it was such a joyful piece of work to write. I mean, I loved the second of it. The songs pretty much wrote themselves. And I of course I'm blushing a bit when you're talking about my voice. It is what it is. But I just love singing these songs so much, and they, singing out for life. It's not. Yeah, I wasn't in a dark period like I was on the Appraisal album. I was just feeling so relaxed, calm, and grateful for everything that I have. And so maybe that's one of the flares and the secret ingredients on the album.
Right on. So
I have to say, Shotgun and For Behind, that weekend was absolutely fantastic in a creative way, and you helped me in, Magnus. A couple of months later, we had yet another fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
With two new other songs.
Yeah, we wrote Better Than Me and Exactly Who We Were on the other weekend that we met up.
Yeah. And then we wrote, I think, 13 more songs after that. So we had like 17, 18 songs to begin with when we started thinking that this might be a new album.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what were, as you began organizing the songs for the album, what were the songs that for you, and I'll ask each of you the same question. We'll start with you, Magnus. What were the songs that, as you began putting them together, started standing out to you as the stronger songs on the album, the ones that you felt were really the ones that were going to shine once the album was done?
I mean, we have a saying in the band, every song is a single from my house at 3:00 in the morning. So even the songs that didn't make the album, I would love to have released them as well. But I think the singles that we released, they are really strong. I mean, we knew right away that Fall Behind Sometimes would be the first single, the leading single. We had an idea of challenge that a little bit and release Shotgun to the Head as the first single, because that's one of my personal favorite songs on the album. Not because it's a destructive kind of a piece, but I think just the composition and the way it's how we have you put it down on paper and how it's delivered. I think it's a very powerful monotone kind of a piece of song. But you were talking about One Thing. I think One Thing is a really, really nice song. I wrote that when I was waiting for my wife to come home on a business trip, and I was on a spree. I've been writing so many songs, and like, maybe I have 20 minutes on me to write something out of the embryos that I have, and it should be something that is just like dancing with my baby who has been gone for like a week. And when she came home, I finished doing all the vocal works and written the whole thing, and it's very personal for me. I think it's a wonderful, romantic, honest piece of work for my wife.
Fantastic. And Lino, as you guys were putting the album together, what are some of the songs that you felt were going to be some of the stronger ones that ended up going on the album?
I had to say Fall Behind and Shotgun again, because they were the one that started the whole process. So I like them very much. But I also think that One Thing is some new kind of song for us, and I like that one really much.
Excellent, excellent. May, got to go to you. Of the songs that you've listened to on the album, what are one or two maybe that's really stand out to you as being something special?
I'm really partial to The Way She Goes. I
Mm.
just something about that one. I really enjoy that one. I'm not a big fan of ballads or romantic sappy things, but I really do like that one.
Well, now you tell me, May. Now I know why you don't like Sway, right?
I love Sway, but that's the
It's
thing. Sometimes I do hear what. Oh, sorry, my rabbit is throwing her dish around. It never ends around here. Um, I love Sway, and I think that's I feel how very heartfelt that is, and I think that's part of why I can feel it more. It always helps to kind of know what an artist is thinking when they created it, because a lot of times I understand that for a lot of writers, it's a creative writing process where sometimes you're putting yourself in the shoes or the point of view of somebody else, because of course you get people that get very concerned about somebody's writing. You're like, no, I was just imagining, it's a writing assignment, basically. I was just imagining what it would be like. But I think that when I hear music from artists that I know is specifically about the person they're absolutely in love with, I think it hits differently for me. So that is one of the things I do really enjoy about independent music, because we do have more interaction with the artists and understanding what they were thinking and how they came to that. So yeah,
yeah.
I hear a
So-
lot of love for his sweetheart coming out of Magnus's lyrics. So.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Appraisal. I mean, we were going through a rough patch. We've been talking about this so many times to us four, but this album is like an answer to a troublesome time, and I think I hearing from you how you're reacting to the album, it makes me so happy, because it is like, what happens next? You are going to go through crisis. You are going to go through these rough patches. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And this is just like a romantic, more mature answer to what just was going on the previous album. So I still see our three albums as a trilogy, because it's a continuing story. It's not like a brand new story. It's like what's happening next. Moments, as the title, it's moments happen, but it doesn't have to be bad moments in order to write something that resonates with people.
Yeah, that's really what life is. It's a collection of good moments and bad moments, happy times, sad times, those great fuck yeah moments and those fuck moments. It's I can totally relate to that. Now, unlike May, that should be obvious with the kind of songs that I've written on my own in the past, but I'm a sucker for ballads. I love a really well put together ballad. And so I think right now my current favorite track on the album is the album closer, which is Shattered Glass. Absolutely love that album. Can you tell us a little bit of the backstory about Shattered Glass?
Do you want to go first, Lino, or shall I?
I think you should go for it, and I can fill in because you started it.
Okay, well, this track, Shattered Glass. I mean, now I get oh god, I get goosebumps that you like that song at the moment so much. But this song has been with me for almost 15 years, roughly. And when I met the guys for the first time, post Sentimental Sounds, post anything, um, uh, before I were to meet them in the cabin, the cabin we've always been talking about, but I felt like I had to send something on my own because they didn't know me, and I sent Shattered Glass. It was an acoustic piece, and I didn't show up. This is no news that I called in sick on our first meeting, basically. But they worked on that track, and they came up with pretty much how it sounds, and I was like, they are really resonating with my music as well. So I think we are on the right track, and it's a special song for us, I would say, because it comes from the past, but it fits so nicely on the album as a closer. It challenges the whole spectra of more, with the more guitar driven. You have the strings, and how it fades out and everything. And I love that song. I can sing it in my sleep. So call me in the middle of the night, and I will pick up my guitar for you, Jim, and I will play it for you.
Right
And
on.
it was so hard to edit that one because it's not connected to any grid or BPM or anything. It's just played.
Yeah.
But we did it in the sequencer, but without any, 16, 18th, nothing like that.
Well, it's like I said, right now for me, that's one of the tracks that my ears just, really are interested by. But I also, another one of my favorites, again, because I also tend to like kind of the upbeat stuff. So one thing I think is great, but Righteous Foolishness is another one that I played on my show, which got a really strong response from both the people that were in the live chat that day, but also some people that have, reached me privately on the side. They're like, I really like that kind of that upbeat more tune, that Righteous Foolishness one that you played the other day. And so what's the story behind that one?
Well, I mean, I think the chorus on that one is just, it was so fun to write. Let's dance this dance tonight. It's, is it wrong? Well, you get to use your whole spectra of how you write and how you sing, and to put nuances on it. And because we had so many embryos, and when I found that one, like, how can we go into this song and attack it and make the best out of it? And I have, and with the as
Yeah.
a leading theme, that we haven't been doing that, so we had to challenge that as well and see how does that work. I mean, I did partially of that with Lance, with the Great Disorder,
Right.
so it's yeah, it was already a tried ground, but not for more. And I think the result turned out great. Also, I love that song.
Well, that's one of the things that I actually like about it the most is the vocalization, because it does in fact remind me of the collaboration that you did with Lance a year or two ago, and just again, just the way that your voice does that, it just really captures the listener's attention. Uh, just the natural timbre of your voice, and just the way that that melody flows along underneath it is just, yeah, perfectly done. Love it.
Thank you. I mean, the music is so inspiring. So I mean, the whole wobbling of the verses and so on. So it was a very easy piece to write, and I've said it before, and I'm so blessed to have these two gentlemen by my side.
Well, and I want to talk about that because, Lino and Matthias are the ones that are the real, synth experts and the guys that really craft the music, as it were, of the song. And Lino, I can tell you, as a fellow producer and musician and a fellow synth guy, the work that you're doing just keeps getting better and better and better and better with every release you guys do. And it's like, seriously, out of all of my peers that are out there that are making synth pop, that are making music, not very many are consistently moving upward in the quality of their songwriting, the quality in their production skills, I mean, I listen to Moments and it's got such a gorgeous, clean sound to it. You know, it doesn't sound like everything is all jammed in there together and everything's fighting for space within a song. You've got, you know, this beautiful droning synth bass, and then you've got these little things that happen that are kind of like ear candy that will pan back and forth between the ears. And it's just really been such a joy for me to watch how you guys have evolved to where you're at right now. And like I said earlier, you guys are doing that Depeche Mode sound better than Depeche Mode are doing it right now, in my opinion. So I have to, you know, tip my hat off to to both of you guys, and especially to Matthias and Lino, that are the synth guys like me. Just what a great job you guys keep doing, and again continuing to inspire and move, you know, people like me and May that love listening to your music to begin with. And so I don't know what kind of synths you guys used on this new album, but I love how dark and brooding and throbbing and pulsating these synths are. They're just amazing. Love them. I love them.
Thank you very much. I did learn a few things about sidechaining and even more about EQing. So we also got that feedback from our mastering guy, Patrik.
Mhm.
Nej, vad heter han?
Hansson.
Patrik Hansson. That this one sounded cleaner. So I'm very pleased with
Yeah.
that. Most sounds are from Reason, you know that.
Yeah.
We
Well,
didn't
and
use any external synths this time. Only guitars on a couple of tracks.
yeah. Well, and that's another one of the reasons why I am such a big fan of More, is because I still do probably 90+% of my composition process and my mixing process is done within the Reason environment. So uh, it's always a pleasure for me to come across somebody else that uses Reason, whose music I absolutely love, like with you guys. So um, I haven't upgraded to Reason 13 yet. I'm still on Reason version 12,
Yeah,
but
so are we.
it's working great for me. And you know, I've really, and this is where we'll kind of dive into the synth geek talk here, but uh, I know I've talked a lot of times about the Cherry Audio VSTs that are there. I love how seamlessly they integrate with Reason, but yeah, there are some great native instruments that are inside Reason that you can just do so much with. And um, in fact, May and I were in our conversation with Mark Nicholas last night. I was talking about how one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from Paul Humphreys of OMD was I was talking to him one time about, you know, what can I do to make my songs just sound better? And he listened to a couple of my songs and he's like, you know what, Jim, you you've got some really great arrangements, but it sounds like you're just cramming too much into the mix as far as instrumentation goes. And he's absolutely right, because for me, I have all of these great virtual synthesizers to choose from. And it's like I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna start off with this great DX7 bass, and oh, I gotta throw in a Juno 106, and oh yeah, I've got a Fairlight as well. And wow, you know what, this needs some, you know, Juno 60 as well as the Juno 106. And yeah, right, and I gotta use this synclavier as well, and the OBXA. And Paul's like, you don't need to do that, Jim. He's like, just, you know, come down to get your chord progression, get the, you know, the way that you want the actual song underneath the track. Because once you strip all the technology away, you should still have some semblance of a song that will work if you strip all that technology away. And so he's like, just go back and listen to the early OMD stuff. He's like, and he used Enola Gay as an example. Now, we're all familiar with OMD's iconic Enola Gay song. And on that song, they really only used one main synthesizer, the Korg micro preset, and then there was like just this little organ type thing underneath it. So really only two synthesizers to write that song. And it's such a gorgeous song. And you go back and listen to it, and sure enough, there's not, it doesn't sound like a muddied up, really overcomplicated song. And then I go and listen to something like Sway, which, I still love my song Sway, but there are something like 17 different synthesizers, both hardware and software, that I used to record Sway with. And uh, it does make a difference. And it sounds like you guys with your music take that same approach that Paul Humphreys was telling me that I should try to go for, where you're not really throwing all these synthesizers at it to make it sound better. You're just enhancing the basic essentials of what, musically or rhythmically, as far as the instrumentation goes, moves the song forward and really kind of helps to drive home musically what the lyrics of the song are telling the story of. And you guys do that extraordinarily well, and nowhere is that more obvious than on this brand new album, Moments. And again, tip of the hat to you, especially Lino, for keeping those arrangements sparse but super super effective. And for a guy like me, that's something I'm still figuring out how to do.
Good.
Yeah. So
We have a saying in the band, and that's something that we have, a mantra, and it's been so many times, when we've been listening through all different versions. Less is more. I mean, it doesn't sound more if it isn't less. Kind of like what you were describing. I can understand it, being a kid in a candy store. You have all these fantastic, synths, but that we've been working very roughly with keeping it less.
Yeah.
And I have full my utmost respect to the guys, because they are really great at doing their craft.
Yeah. So there you have it, folks. The secret to more is less is more. Right? Thank you, folks. I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
Yeah, I mean, we've been joking, if we ever were to like have a break or something, and the two of us would like to do something, it wouldn't be more, it would be less, and then that would be the band name then, and then we're gonna have to do more then, I guess.
There
so
you go.
It's more, more is less. I don't know.
Well, then it could become more or less, right?
More or less. Maybe.
Oh boy, English is such a silly language, isn't it?
Yeah, but Swedish is even sillier. You're the Swedish chef.
Oh yes. Oh.
That's pretty much all I know. Or. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spurdy, birdie, spurdy.
Oh my gosh, this is priceless.
Yeah.
So Mae, what as you're listening to this new album by Moore, how would you say it compares to some of their previous work? Where would it rank for you? Is this something that, like I was saying, is just getting better and better with each new release, or do you find this one, how does it stack up for you compared to their earlier work?
Well, absolutely. Like you say, it's there's more joy. There's, because things evolve, and I really like hearing that. And yeah, just, as you evolve, as you work together, I think we were talking about how often you got together. How often do you really get to get together in person? How far away are you guys from each other?
We are like 3 hours away from each other, I would say. We don't. It's not because Lino lives in Falun, and Matthias lives in Stockholm, and I live in Götånger, and it's like 3 hours going to each other. So it's like a triangle, I would say.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that definitely when you get that opportunity to be around each other, I would have to assume that chemistry and that the way things move faster, because in real time, being able to work off of each other and bounce off each other, there's definitely that benefit there. You know, certainly people have created some successful collaborations with never having met each other. You know, we talk about Breathe With My Leaves. I think they still haven't met each other in person. Same with Darren McDee and Mark Bebb. So it's definitely doable to create something really great. But I think that being able to get in, you know, in each other's space and be able to get that chemistry, I think that as you're able to do that a little more often, I think that also is reflected too.
I mean, those are the best sessions when we meet up. I mean, we have been mixing sometimes when we meet, like songs that we already been writing, and but we can't just meet up and not create something. And maybe it won't be a track for an album or an EP or a single, but those sessions are the best, you know. And the secret to that is mint chocolate, I would say, and a lot of beer.
Well,
Understand that.
in the case of my band, it's not so much beer as tacos. You know, we every time we get together, we got to go out for tacos, and you know, whatever soda happens to be, you know, attracting my attention. But lately, May, I've actually, you know, cut down on my soda intake so that I can be in a little bit better physical shape next year for Phenomicon and all the crazy stuff that we do there. But I can definitely relate because, you know, this new band that I'm in, Hitchhiker, that I'm performing in with Dr. Travis Taylor from Skinwalker Ranch and these other guys, where it's a cover band where we're doing all this classic 70s and 80s classic rock. It presents a challenge because, you know, I live in Utah. Travis and Jay live in Alabama, which is almost 1,000 miles away. And our bass player, John, lives in Colorado. So he's about 6 hours away from where I am. And then we have our drummer, Caleb, and our lead guitarist, Micah. They live in North Carolina, which is almost 2,000 miles away from where I'm at. So it's, yeah, it's a challenge. We've only gotten together for one rehearsal, and then after that one rehearsal, we performed at Phenomicon. So our performance at Phenomicon last month was literally like our second rehearsal. So
Cool.
so it definitely, the distance creates some unique challenges, but because of modern technology, it's different for when you're rehearsing, but when you're composing and writing stuff together, the technology is as such that, you know, as you've seen, Lino and Magnus, you can be hours away from each other. And, you know, like Lino can work on this just amazing beat and bass line. He can send that off to Matthias, and Matthias can, you know, add on whatever he needs to, and then they send it to you, Magnus, and you know, so you get this, you're still able to make it happen, at least as far as the writing process and the compositional process. And that's kind of the one thing that I would say synth pop has been ahead of most other genres with, is because of the nature of what we do is technology based to begin with. The distance, at least as far as collaborating, isn't as much of a challenge. But of course, in my opinion, if I had the ability to do it, I would love to be in the same room with the people that I'm writing and composing with and mixing with, and you know, and of course rehearsing with. You know, it's ideal. You kind of have to have everybody together to really get the most out of it. Um, but yeah, that's I had no idea that you guys were 3 hours away from each other. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and I think oh, sorry, Lino. Keep going.
We usually meet like not much, 2-3 weekends per year, and sometimes one or another weekend doesn't produce anything. It doesn't get as fantastic as other times.
Right.
You have
Right.
to have those times too.
Yeah. Yeah. Magnus, you were gonna say?
No, but it's just for this album we have been meeting up just to do some of the, you know, the boring stuff, you know, when you're listening through the songs and find the right levels on different sounds. And we haven't been doing that late on the past albums, because it's been the whole ping pong game of sending things back and forth. And I don't know about you, Lino, but for me it felt like doing so, we actually got to the finish line faster, even though we said we're going to release the album in May, and it turned out to be in August. I think meeting up, doing the last touches on the album speeded up the process a lot.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely.
Cool. So what do you guys have on the horizon? I know we've talked about this a number of times, but any plans to do some live shows with more coming up in the future?
We're actually going to have our premiere in January, so we're going to perform live.
Nice. So tell us about that. What's that going to be all about?
Well, you know, my brother, I have two brothers. I have a bonus brother, which I'm celebrating today. Therefore, the tie. It's not like I'm trying to be, you know, cool business guy. You know, when I see $1 million, no, you can't see that. But no, but my brother from my original brother, he turns 50, and he's been number one fan of More, number one fan of everything I've been doing for the past 26 years. And he's going to have his 50th birthday party at a really cool club in a city in Sweden. And he's like, if More doesn't play live, you know, it's not going to be a show. Can you do your premiere at my party? And we were like, I was like, yeah, but, you know, I would say yeah every time. But the guys said yes too. So that's going to happen.
Awesome.
Hopefully this will be the beginning of a new era of More, because I think the songs deserves to be heard live.
I would agree, and hopefully there will be some video taken of that performance, because I would love to be able to see you guys performing. I would love to be there in person if I had the means to do so, but just being able to see you guys on video performing live would be awesome enough. That would be cool.
I will arrange that for you then, so you get a piece of it. You are invited as well, but I understand it's a little bit too far. Yeah, maybe then the 2,000 miles isn't that long, you know.
Right.
Right. It's not so much the mileage, except for it's Sweden, January.
Yeah. Oh, no. Come on, Mae. I have Scandinavian heritage. I love the cold weather. I seriously, like, I would prefer to live in a colder climate than in a warmer climate. Like when I was in Arizona, I was just, you know, it was so hot. I love Arizona, but that's a little too hot for me. I love the change of seasons. I love snow. I love all that stuff. And so that Viking blood that I've got in me, just, you know, I'd be right at home.
Yeah, I would like to say that you can take the girl out of South Texas, but you can't take the, you know, South Texas out of the girl. But truly, you really just shouldn't take the girl out of South Texas. No, sorry, Ron. I know how much Ron Hubbard loves fall. No.
Oh, I love autumn. Autumn is just, it's like Ron. It's my favorite season. I absolutely love it. And, you know,
beautiful colors.
Yes.
Halloween is my favorite holiday, but it's during fall. And besides, I mean, Halloween here, I've always said, if you want to dress up as an animal for Halloween, don't make it a furry one, because it won't work out for trick-or-treating.
Do you guys celebrate Halloween over in Sweden?
Yeah. I mean, we used to not do it because we have Alla Helgonas afton, where it's pretty much, you know, you're celebrating all and you're thinking about all the ones that left us. But the spectacle of Halloween reached us as well, because we're highly influenced by the US. So, I mean, the past, I would say 20 years, we are dressing up for Halloween. And my daughter, she's going out this year with tattoos on her eyes.
Oh,
really
wow.
Cool. She's 8-year-old and she looks dangerous, and she's already been trying to pre-prep and how do I look like? Okay, I look like you're crazy, but yeah.
Oh man, how about that?
Yeah.
So, you got the live show coming up in January. Anything else beyond that you guys are looking at doing?
I mean, now I'm speaking for myself, Lino, and you may throw me a line of disgrace or whatever. But I mean, we have a bunch of songs that we haven't been released, and I think if we just deep dive into it, I think it's at least one or two pieces that could be working as a standalone single. But like with the previous album, not that it's been so hard on us, but we need like this creativity break, you know, from each other. How will the fourth album sound? We have no idea. You know, we don't even want to explore that subject at the moment because we need to live on the fruit that we actually delivered a third full-length album
Mhm.
in the past 4 years, you know, and it's hard to tell, but like I said, every track is a single at 3 o'clock in my house. So you know, I will be sending them when I sit late night and listen through this stuff. They're like, "We need to release this," you know. So
Yeah, yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, Lino.
No, you're right. I haven't touched my computer since like July when we left the masters to Spotify and all that. I have to pick myself up and start preparing those files for the live event.
Yeah.
Right.
But we are meeting up for a concert. We're gonna go and see Front 242 in late November in Stockholm. So we're gonna have a band meeting, but just as a bunch of friends going to listen to great music.
Ah, great.
Fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was just telling, I don't know if it was you that I was telling May, but 2024 is the first year in the past 30 years that I have not been to see a single concert.
Oh my goodness.
I was supposed to see OMD a couple weeks ago, but they postponed their North American tour until next spring, so I didn't get to see them. And so, really, the only concert that I've been to is the one that I was performing in
The
with a
best ones.
hitchhiker. So yeah, it's like I just haven't been able to get out to see any of the bands that have been coming to Utah, and so it's kind of sad that 2024 I broke my 30-year record of going to see at least one concert every year, and I'm ashamed of myself that I haven't been able to do that this year. So
You have 2.5 months left, so don't feel sorry. Just get onto that
uh,
concert floor. You know, come what may, whatever. If it's a troubadour at a bar, you know, just see it. Yeah.
well, Tears for Fears are playing. They're doing a 3-night residency in Las Vegas. Their brand new album is coming out in I think 2 weeks, and so they're doing like a 3-night show in Las Vegas. But of course, tickets for that are starting out at like $400, $500 for
Wow,
one ticket. So it's like, I can't do that.
ridiculous! A lot of money. It's now you're like it's Oasis high. You know, have you been
Oh
reading
yeah,
about the way? Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, yep. But hey, I think The Cure just announced that they are doing a live stream
Hmm.
of a show coming up, and I think it's next month as well. So I won't be there in person, but hey, I'll get to watch it. That I'm looking forward to that. That'll be awesome.
Check in the box. You've been to a concert, you know, and put it out in your rehearsal room and just dance the night away like you're there. You know,
That's
I
right.
saw The Cure last year, and they were playing a couple of the songs that has been released now for the upcoming album. And I would tell you, man, it's gonna be like this integration. I think this album
Yeah.
will be the bomb.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the first two songs that they've released. It reminds me exactly of Disintegration, and you never. I mean, I've seen The Cure several times live, and you're going to get a great show because they play for almost 3 hours every time they
Yep.
play. And my wife, I think The Cure is my wife's all-time favorite band to go see because she loves The Cure, and they
Mm.
always put on an amazing show. She likes them even better than Depeche Mode, and don't tell Paul Humphries I said this, but she likes them even better than OMD. So But
Are you gonna bleep that when you release it online? Like, bleep! Like the
yeah, right. Yeah, we're gonna censor that.
You gotta make sure to put the block over your mouth too. That way nobody can read your lips.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
Everyone like, what did he say? Which band did he say? It's gonna be a talk of the town about this, Jim.
Yeah. No, my wife is, obviously she's a huge OMD fan. She loves Paul. Paul is like a part of our family. We're such good friends, and but my wife is one that doesn't like to go to concerts generally. So I think with her it's more a case of she's seen OMD so many times. It's like, but I'm telling her this next time is probably going to be the last time that she's going to get to see OMD because they're talking about, this being the last tour that they're going to do. So hopefully I'll get Michelle to join me when I go see OMD next June. So kind of hoping that happens. But if the Cure, I know they're going to be announcing their North American tour dates, and I guarantee the Cure are going to come to Salt Lake, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to convince my wife to go to that one. Because the other great thing about the Cure is the Cure, like OMD, refuse to charge ridiculous prices for their concert tickets. So that's the other thing I like about the Cure is that it's they're affordable tickets. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and every time you see them and you hear Robert Smith bleed his lungs out, it's so honest, it's so beautiful, and I love them so much. It's they are very high up there. I wouldn't say as great as Depeche Mode in concert, but still it's kind of gothic, So it's you can't really compare apples and pears. I would say.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. I'm big Cure fan. Love the Cure. And Disintegration is like, if I could have a desert island album that I would listen to, Disintegration would absolutely be one of my desert island albums. I just that album has become so much a part of my life. I just couldn't imagine, like I was telling May yesterday in the chat that we had with Mark from Cosmicity. Cold, rainy, wet day here in Utah. The album I turn to for days like that is The Cure's Disintegration. Same Deep Water as You. Oh, loved it. Love it. There's just nothing like losing yourself in music when you have a day like that you just like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, being on an island with only that album, you will fall in love with a coconut for sure, and you will also be able to seduce that coconut with the music.
Well,
hey, at least I didn't say a volleyball.
I respectfully invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege.
It doesn't apply to me. I'm from Sweden.
Yeah, right.
But to say, in Sweden, a coconut is a very exotic thing. So
It is.
So I mean that just also there leads me into wondering now, what are yours, Magnus and Lino, your desert island albums?
Oh. Well, you go first, Lino.
One is a tough one. Well, I think I go for the Depeche album, Music for the Masses, I think.
Fantastic. Excellent choice. That's one of my favorites as well. If I were to choose a Depeche album for my desert island, for me it would be Black Celebration. Absolutely.
That's an excellent choice as well. I mean, I will go with a wild card because an album that always puts me in a great mood, and call it cheesy, call it corny, call it not synth. I'm ridiculously fond of Angels and Airwaves. I think the endeavor with Tom DeLonge that he did with those guys is just amazing. And I would go with I think I would go with I Empire because it resonates a lot to me, that album. Because I fall in love every time. I mean, I would go with Disintegration, but I feel like that's already taken. But so I would go with that album because if I'm alone, if I listen to that, it reminds me of my family, and I would miss them to death. But they would be there with me, kind of.
Well, come over to my desert island and I'll share the coconuts with you.
Yeah.
And disintegration.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we can have a party, and we will
Right.
share in coconuts. You know, it's gonna be
That's
perfect.
that's right. We can make our own pina coladas. May, what would your desert island album be?
It's one that would throw people also. It would be Crowded House's Temple of Low Men.
Hmm.
I
Very
know,
good.
it's like totally out there, isn't there? Yeah.
No, not at all. You know me, I'm a huge Crowded House fan. I love Crowded House. So, but for me, I would have to say, I mean, Disintegration, Black Celebration, the Beastie Boys, License to Ill, because you know I'm a New Yorker. I love OMD's Architecture Morality album, Anything Box Peace album. Really any of those. You know, like if I had to have one album that was like dark and atmospheric, it would be a toss up between Disintegration and Black Celebration. And if I wanted an album that was going to be upbeat and happy and just kind of, you know, crazy, then it would have to be Beastie Boys, Beastie Boys, License to Ill, Anything Box Peace, or you know, Yazoo's Upstairs at Eric's, you know, something along those lines. But you know, I wouldn't be at all unhappy if I had a More album with me as well. You know, the gotta have those sentimental sounds, man. If I'm gonna be having some coconuts, man, I gotta have me some sentimental sounds because I'm gonna be pretty sentimental with those coconuts, right?
I mean, if you go with From the Past, then you also have Constant Loop. Like, yeah, it sure is. You know, these damn coconuts keep coming back. Story
Oh,
goes on, and so on. You know, another day, another coconut.
good heavens. Another day, another coconut. Yes, sir. Oh boy. Wow. I love it when the conversation derails like this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So just real quickly, Magnus, what are your let's pick your five favorite tracks from Moments, and uh just tell us, you know, what are the five that you are particularly proud of the job that you've done on five of the songs from Moments.
Okay. I mean, Better Than Me. I love that song. It feels like it's an echo to Sentimental Sounds somehow. You know, it's the album's Sentimental Sounds. Once again, doing something different. You have, you know, Dropping Me Like I'm Worthless. That whole part, you know, that's kind of challenging to sing fast because, I mean, I just love how cool it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it turned out great. And also, of course, since we met up to write that song, it's a special piece. But I also think that Going Nowhere, I mean, that's a perfect echo from Appraisal, and I think we did pretty good without going into the rabbit hole of total emptiness. You know, I think it's a good song. A bit slow. It could be maybe a showstopper on the album. Like, okay, what happened there? But then you have Shotgun to the Head, of course. Now I mentioned three. Can I say five? Was it five?
Yeah, five. Mm-hmm.
Great. But I love Posh and Easy as well. I mean, I think Posh and Easy is such a fantastically fun song to sing and to have written. And the theme of it, you know, you're standing there, you have the person that you're talking to on her high horses or in her high castle, me, the pawn, being on the floor, just trying to remind the person on how beautiful she is and how unchanged she should try to not be, you know. And I like the thematics on that song. And
Portuguese is
then
actually the second. I only sing on two more songs, and Portuguese is one of them. Very, very low volume.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's awesome. So Posh and Easy is not about the Spice Girls?
no,
Because
no.
remember you had Posh Spice and then you had Easy Spice, right? Easy Spice was the most popular with the guys, right?
In Sweden we call her Porno Spice, but I think it's Ginger
Right.
Spice that you're talking about.
Well, there has to be
Beep,
an
beep, beep.
Easy Spice, right?
Yeah. No. No, it's not about the Spice Girls. I'm sorry to say if people were like,
Damn.
yeah, I can resonate with Victoria Beckham on this song. Yeah, maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. Was Victoria Beckham? Well, she's posh and easy. Well, she's got. Well, okay, I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah, no, but the last song
Easy
is,
on
of course.
the eyes. There you go. You guys can go with that. She's easy on the eyes.
Right. Good save, May. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but and the last song, of course, Fall Behind. Fantastic. I love it.
Awesome. Lino, what are 5 of your favorite tunes from the new album?
Well, I would say Shattered Glass, because it's so different from what we usually do. And I think Going Nowhere is very touching too. I like that one. Shotgun, because it was also very different, more industrial approach with, and not very chorus verse. It has its own form in some way.
Mhm.
I would like to mention Fall Behind too. Really like the chorus on that one.
All right.
I
Well,
think that was just 4, right?
4 or 5. Either one. Either one's 5.
Yeah.
My top ones right now. Shattered Glass is my favorite one to listen to. There's just something about it, and again, I like a really good ballad. Then I also like One Thing, Righteous Foolishness. Big fan of that. The Way She Goes, really enjoy that one. And for my 5th one, gosh, in a lot of ways, I wish you guys had put One More Cup of Coffee on the album, because that one I still constantly listen to. But to round out the album for me, for my top 5, oh gee, it's really kind of a toss up between Fall Behind and yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Fall Behind. That's probably that's my 5th one. So too many good ones to choose from, guys. Seriously. Difficult to pick just 5, let alone one, right? May, what are some of your 5 standouts from the album?
Like I mentioned before, The Way She Goes. I really like that one. I like Shotgun to the Head. It is a little bit, I wouldn't say dirgier, but it's a little bit broodier, and I do tend to like some broody things sometimes. I do like Shattered Glass and what was the other? Oh, Righteous Foolishness, because you had played that recently, and so I'm like, oh yeah, this one. So and yeah, like you said, One More Cup of Coffee. I thought that was really nice. I really liked the vibe in that one. So, it would have been nice. Now, what I'm really interested to hear are these ones that didn't make the album. So I'm waiting for these singles now, or B-sides, or something.
Perhaps an EP. Right, Lino?
We'll see. We don't know.
You should be excited to hear those songs. I mean, there's a song called Tell Me Secrets. I love that one. Rhythm of Your Shoes, fantastic. I mean, okay, it's not 3 o'clock in Newtonger, but yeah. There's a song called Jasmine Revolution. I think there could be a really cool track. I mean, we have there's so many in the box without saying too much, but it was a tough choice to take Kill Your Darlings on the album, because they would have fit perfectly, I would say. But then we have something for the future,
Yeah.
Call it a pension plan or something.
Well, there you go. That the fact that you guys have additional songs that you didn't include on the album is always a bonus. And like you said, if the time comes where you can fit them into an EP, or put them on another upcoming the next album project when you guys get together, that just puts you that much farther ahead of the game. So that's a win-win situation right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
But
And
then again, it wouldn't have been the same album with those tracks either. So we are super happy with the selection that is on the album. So by all means,
Yeah.
there's some goodies in the bag, but not for this session.
Well, I got to tell you guys, and I don't know if I've told either of you this yet, but right now, you know, we're getting toward the end of 2024, which is right about now is when I begin compiling all of my end of year, you know, best of 2024 awards that I hand out. And right now, Moments is one of the front runners for album of the year. So again, I have to tip my hat to you gentlemen to the wonderful job that you guys have done with the songwriting on it, the production, because of course being a music producer, I have a really big ear for production value, and you know, it hits, you know, all the boxes. I can check all the boxes for what I'm looking for in a truly extraordinary album, and Moments nails it. So congrats guys. I'll be revealing my final picks in the month of December, but you guys you're one of the front runners. You're one of the top three for walking away with what I would call the best album of 2024. So thank you as a listener, as a DJ. You know, I absolutely love playing the music of more on my show. I feel kind of bad because of the time difference involved, because my show doesn't even come on the air until it's like, you know, almost midnight your time there in Sweden. So it's kind of difficult to get you guys to join May and I in the live chat when we do a live chat for a broadcast. But your music has become such an integral part of the soul of synth pop, and is a big reason for why I think my show has been a success over the last 4 years that you've been making this amazing music. And I have to give it, you know, tip of the hat to Valerie, because she's the one that you know introduced me to your music, I believe. And soon as I heard Sentimental Sounds, man, just hit me right there, and it still hits me. So thank you guys for everything that you guys do with your amazing music, and it's been just an absolute joy and a pleasure for me to be a part of that journey with you guys, and to watch you guys just get better and better with every song and every album that you release. It's been a genuine honor and a privilege to watch this all unfold. And you guys, your music will always have a home on the soul of synth pop. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, your support has meant a lot to us, being this band from Sweden as well. Doing all these interviews, getting the attention from you, getting all the love and support from you and from all your listeners. And like you said, unfortunately, it's on a Sunday evening and we have to get up to work in the morning. But I wish I could be a part of the chat. You know, once in a blue moon, I jump in, but you know, it's too late. So I'm sorry, but yeah. I do listen in you know, the day after, so I get to listen to it. But
right,
yeah, and just sitting down with you and May and talking about our music, it's just both surreal and also we are very grateful for it.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Awesome. Well, Lino and Magnus, what is there anything that I can do with the Soul of Synth Pop to help you guys more than I've already been able to do? Is there anything else that I can do to help get your stuff out there and make people aware of what an extraordinary album you guys have? Is there anything that I can do for you guys?
Not anything that I can think of. You're promoting in the best way possible, I think. I can't think of anything more.
I mean, we can't ask you to do more than you're doing. You know, we are, I mean, super humbled by the fact that you are resonating so much with us, and we with you, of course. You know, just keep on giving us the correct push and the tap on the back to get the energy to write the next piece. You know, because after all, we are writing for ourselves. But if there were none to listen, none to support us, then, you know, there might not have been a second or a third album, you know, there might not be a fourth album. And what you are doing is spectacular. I can't thank you enough.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, anything at all that I can do with my resources and the small but genuine reach of the soul of synth pop, anything that I can do to help you guys get your music out there and to make people aware of what you guys are doing, just say the word, and I'm happy to do whatever I can to help you guys get out there and introduce the world to more as much as I can.
Mm. Well, speaking of us, whenever you get a chance, giving the tips to people who wants to find new music, can't ask for more than that. That's
Okay.
and you're doing it already. So.
And Magnus, you and I are going to write a song called Coconuts.
Yeah. And we will shoot a video.
We'll have to shoot a video. That's right. Go get me some good firm coconuts, right? I'll be going to the local grocery store, feeling up the coconuts, and my
Maybe we
wife.
could do like one of those shots when we actually bounce our coconuts together, but we just cut it like it looks like we're.
That sounds like coconut porn. I don't know what's going on here.
It's a new genre for me, Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe this will catch it on. I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to.
Or the people actually exercising it maybe should seek some help. If they're doing coconut porn. I don't know.
Nothing like little coconut water after a workout, right?
Yeah. Just a little split.
And May, we have to put lime and cilantro. We have to incorporate that into it somehow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Even if it's just like little cilantro crown or something for the coconut, little garland.
Yeah.
That would be cute.
Now there is one thing that while I've got you here, Magnus, just so you know that I haven't completely forgotten about it, but several months ago I sent you a cover that I was working on for Depeche Mode's Black Celebration.
Oh,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, all that came around just as the whole thing for me with Hitchhiker was starting. So I had to take several months and put most of my focus going into learning these 27 new songs that I had never played with Hitchhiker. So eventually, I now have time, and one of my goals this week is to send you my vocal stems for the Martin Gore part of Black Celebration. So that should be coming soon. And then I don't know if how we would go about releasing it, because I don't know. I don't want it to be Eminent Soul, because Eminent Soul is done. But man, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun once we get that done. And I'll have to send you. I don't think I've sent you yet my cover that I just finished of Enjoy the Silence, have I?
No, you haven't.
Oh boy, if you think Black Celebration, wait till you hear Enjoy the Silence. And May, I know you've heard Enjoy the Silence, right?
It's really good. It is really good.
Can't wait to hear that, and I can't wait to hear a finalized version of The Promise either by When in Rome, because what I heard from your rehearsal, it sounds great.
Well, my guys were supposed to be getting together for rehearsal today, but two of them unfortunately aren't able to make it, so it's just going to be me and Brent getting together. But I don't know. We might try to record a version of The Promise for you. But I thank you for reminding me. That's another one that I've got to get done for you. So yes. So now that I have time, I'll get some of that stuff done for you and send it your way. So just didn't want you to think I'd forgotten about some of that stuff.
Music is forever, life is now, so don't feel sorry about it. I don't hold any grudges or anything. You take your time.
Right on. The man doesn't hold grudges, but he does hold coconuts. So
yeah. Probably he bang a hell of a nice coconut. That beat's gonna be sick.
That's right. All righty. Well, May, any closing thoughts or remarks from you?
Really? No. I'm just this is the part where I space out. Wait a minute. What? I got to keep muting because I got dogs growling and a rabbit throwing her dish around and everything. But no, it was really great to chat with you guys. It's really good to chat with Lino for the first time, and so I see the dog just started again. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the music. Looking forward to hearing all those extra ones that were held back. And yes, I'm now going to be coconut art on the brain. And that extra time you said you had, Jim, send some my way, because gosh, I could use some. But yeah, so it's great talking to you guys.
You could use some coconuts. Is that what you're saying?
I could use some time, and then I could do some coconut art, because now I've got like all these visions of like, coconut trophies and, just
Right.
thanks, guys.
Well, you're welcome. Christmas is coming early this year. Coconuts for everyone.
That's right. That's right. Lino, any closing thoughts or remarks from you?
No, not really. It's been a nice hour.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been absolutely wonderful having you here joining us. Always good to see you. And Magnus, how about you? Any closing thoughts or remarks from you?
No, as always, it's been a privilege talking to you guys, to your listeners and viewers. Hope that you like the album. Hope that you are safe. Hope your election will go smoothly without any trouble, and that you will have a great closing of the year. I mean, no, I have no closing thoughts. I'm just all joy at the moment.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I can tell you, yeah, election day in the United States coming up is going to be, I have no idea what to expect, because I think regardless of who wins, whoever loses, it's going to, I don't think that election day is going to be the end of this current presidential election. If just you've got two sides that literally, honestly hate each other, which it's unfortunate. I mean, politics is always such an ugly business, but they are, for me being an independent, I'm neither. I don't belong to Donald Trump's party. I don't belong to Kamala Harris's party. But because I don't like how everything is so tribalistic and divisive. It's like neither side really truly cares about the other side, and when you're going to be the president of the United States, you've got to be the president to everybody, including the people who didn't vote for you. And the general impression that both of them leave me with is, for Kamala Harris, if you're not a Democrat, well, screw you. You don't matter. And then you got the Donald Trump, who's like, well, only the people that supported me readily and wholly are the people that that matter. And it's like, is this honestly the two clowns that we have running for president? It just really, I just wish we had better options. And I'm genuinely worried about what's going to happen come election day. And hopefully, I don't know, just hopefully things go as well as they can, and that we're all still here afterward, because it's such an ugly, ugly thing. And yeah, so enough about that. So closing thoughts and remarks for me, just again, Magnus and Lino, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedules to join us today. Really appreciate it. And we're just loving the fact that we have this amazing album, Moments, to listen to. It's been an absolute joy to listen to. And I'm going to keep playing it. You guys keep making that music. I'm going to keep on playing them and keep on talking about them. And yeah, just an exciting time every time we get some new music from more. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And thank you to Mae for, as always, joining me for these wonderful conversations. You guys are all among my very favorite people in this indie synth community. So thank you for the amazing light and love that all of you bring to this wonderful community. Truly, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on. Well, folks, if you liked what you saw today with our content here in the conversation talking with Magnus and Lino, hit that subscribe button down there somewhere there on the channel thing there. Anytime Mae and I post new content, you'll be notified when we have a new video up. And next week, Mae and I will be having a conversation with Mr. Claude Strilio of Anything Box to talk about the brand new Anything Box album. And we're super, super excited about that, because Claude, just as with Magnus and Lino, is one of our favorite guests to come in and chat with us about what he's been working on lately. So with that, folks, love one another, take care of one another, be nice to bunnies, Never let a drum machine, vocoder, or synthesizer go unwanted or unloved. Adopt one today and always eat as many tacos as you can. And you never know, maybe try some shaved coconut on that taco. A little bit of coconut on the taco, a little bit of lime, lime and cilantro and coconut. I bet you that's really good, May. I'm serious. I'm gonna go try this shit, and I bet you it's gonna be good. So anyhow, folks, derailing once again. We will see you next time right here on the Soul of the Unexplained. Thank you so much, folks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.